Alright, yep, that's some nice flat vlog footage. Whoa, what just happened? Hello, today I'm looking at the latest version of Dehancer, a film emulation and color grading plugin on DaVinci Resolve. First things first, let's add a new node and pop Dehancer onto it. The look of the footage has changed quite dramatically. I'm going to turn off different parts of Dehancer to reset everything. This footage was shot on a Panasonic S5 2X, so in the input section, I pick all the relevant options. Even though this was shot in Vlog, the Vlog L option works perfectly well. I'm turning on the film profile first. This is very much the heart of Dehancer. There are dozens of film profiles to choose from. With both cinema and photographic film stocks to pick from, there's lots of variety. Next, I'm enabling the print module because it has a big impact on the footage too. I want to see what it looks like before adjusting other parts of Dehancer. The print module makes a big difference when it comes to staying true to the analog film development process. You have print stocks like Kodak 2383 that work really well with the Kodak Vision 3 emulations, for example. The Kodak Endura Glossy paper option is best suited for photographic film emulations like Portra. Now that I've got my film and print settings down, I'm tweaking the black and white point with Expand. At the same time, I'm keeping an eye on the scope. With the film developer module, I'm boosting color to taste. After tweaking the black and white points again, I adjust the print settings to dial in contrast at that stage of the process. But again, nothing is stopping me from going back to a module and making further tweaks as things change. The push-pull control in the film section is more than just about exposure. Overall contrast and even color can be affected by this global control. It mimics how analog film responds to being shot at a different ISO value than intended. Each of Dehancer's film emulations has unique push and pull results that reflect the original analog film stocks. As I've said before, I tend to return to previous settings and tweak them based on the latest changes I've made. Now I'm making some edits outside of Dehancer on the previous node. It's important that Dehancer be the last node in a chain to maintain image quality. The only exception to that is if you plan to sharpen the footage. In that case, then that should happen after the Dehancer node. Dehancer is a color grading toolbox so that you can deal with a wide range of footage types and situations, and then make the necessary adjustments. However, that doesn't mean that your footage needs to have every module on and every setting changed. Right now, I'm checking out how film compression affects the footage. I'm using it to rein in the crispy highlights along with some other settings. The film grain, halation, bloom, damage, breath, and weave modules really bring that vintage vibe to the fore with a surprising degree of control if you want it. In their collapsed form, you can pick from presets for film formats and ISO values. These effects will become more pronounced when you pick the smallest film format and the highest ISO value. Grain recreates the image with accurate grain characteristics that behave differently in the highlights and shadows, for example. This grain tool dynamically reacts to your footage and is extremely controllable. This is pretty remarkable. The image actually gets rebuilt out of grain. Now this will definitely hammer your computer, but the final result is worth it. Halation and Bloom recreate how highlight areas and points of light acquire a sort of reddish halo or bleed slightly on film. This really helps to sell the film emulation, and the effect is comparable to a diffusion filter. Film damage simulates the artifacts and degradation that occurs when film is projected. When you pop out all the parameters in this module, you get full control of how dust, scratches, and even hair can dirty up your footage, so to speak. Film breath emulates the exposure and slight color shifts that naturally occur in film and are visible when film is projected. It really helps to imitate the organic quality of film. Gate weave allows you to add movement to the frame. It can simulate worn projection equipment, which results in a jittery image. Finally, you have the output section, which lets you globally set the intensity of Dehancer on your footage. I hope that this overview of Dehancer has been helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to pop them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching.